Now, tough economic times are forcing many homeowners to minimal monthly payments.
Only a few are able to pay extra towards their home loan. This means many consumers will end up paying up to double, if not triple, their interest on their home loans over a 20 or 30-year period. Homeowners have been urged to work towards being home loan free and avoid their properties being repossessed.
Recent research conducted by Old Mutual Savings and Investment Monitor has revealed that 66% of homeowners pay only the minimum amount towards their home loans. Only about 5% pay a lump sum and 20% pay extra on a monthly basis. But tough economic times have led to fewer people paying more on their home loans.
The trend, unfortunately, is down a bit because there's a bit of pressure on the consumer. At the moment, the South African environment is not that conducive for economic growth. So economic growth has been low, our unemployment rate has been a bit higher. So you see some of that stress also showing up in how people manage their home loans.
If you have a 1 million rand home loan and you are paying an extra 1,000 rand a month, you will reduce your home loan debt by 360,000 rand. And your 20-year term will decrease by 4.5 years. For a 600,000 rand home loan, paying an extra 1,000 rand will help you save a total of 57,900 rand, and you will reduce the term of your home loan by 6.5 years.
It makes a lot more sense to pay off your home loan quicker and potentially even use the access facility or the flexi facility to have access to that money in the long run. The nice thing about repaying your home loan instead of a savings or an investment account is that your home loan also doesn't attract any income tax when you pay interest instead of earning interest in a savings or investments product.
Having an access bond gives you the flexibility to use your home loan as a saving mechanism. You'll be able to withdraw the extra money that you have invested when you need it. But analysts say you should also consider diversifying your investment portfolio.
Instead of paying the loan, what you could do is start another investment, a more liquid investment. So you bring some diversity into your balance sheet because now you've got a property and you've got an investment. And then if for whatever reason you need to pay extra on the property, you can withdraw it from that investment. So it just adds a bit more flexibility to your balance sheet.
A home is one of a family's most expensive possessions, but make sure that you buy a house within your means so that when the interest rates goes up, you can be able to afford the repayments. Also make room for the escalating costs of rates and taxes as well as electricity.
It's always important to have what we would call a margin of safety, or just a bit of leeway so that when interest rates change, it doesn't create financial distress. So what I would normally say is, if you look at the interest rate cycle, an average interest rates, if on an upward cycle, would move up about 5% in total over maybe kind of a 18-month to 3-year period if interest rates are in an upward movement. So rather do the calculation on the home loan based on interest rates that you're paying plus 5%.
When you start having financial problems and you can no longer afford the property that you own, rather try and sell the property and opt for something cheaper. But many properties, especially those priced over 2 million rand, can take up to 18 months to sell. And in some instances, the banks have been accused of repossessing houses and selling them for close to nothing.
So I understand that there is a negative perception about how banks repossess properties. It is not our intention to repossess properties. In the case where a customer can no longer afford to pay us, we would firstly opt to make some level of arrangement. If there's no way to make an arrangement or the customer is not able to pay it, we would start having the conversation of going through an assisted sales program. And only once all of these different mechanisms to try and remediate the situation or try and save the situation is not successful, we might end up at sale and execution as a final step in order to repossess the property.
I'd like to hear your views on this topic. My email address is molifint@sabc.co.za. My Twitter handle is @mulifinaledi.